Hey guys, what's up? Self-Dev again. This time I am talking about addictions, but not how to overcome and eliminate addictions, but is it possible that we can prevent addictions from even happening? Um, so I thought only very briefly about this, and basically my theory at least is that to prevent addictions from ever happening, what you need to do is make sure your life is basically stable and that you have your needs met. And not just your needs, but your wants as well. And if you don't have that, so for example, if you don't feel like you are loved enough in life, then you might be a lot more prone to things like substance abuse, things like cocaine and heroin that activate your systems in your brain, like dopamine, that feels like you are gaining the love when actually you are gaining it in an unhealthy way, and it's purely chemical only. Um, Whereas real love from like actual people can make you can supply not just the chemical feeling and the reaction, but also the actual tangible physical sense of safety and security, and you're actually able to see this person and have actual experiences rather than just having it all happen inside the brain, like just purely chemical. So, what you could do, I suggest, is maybe you could try and think about what you try to predict what you could be addicted to in the future. And I'm saying this because this is more about preventing addiction as opposed to eliminating an addiction that you're currently addicted to now. So if you want to prevent an addiction, you have to kind of, as I said in the first point, you have to try to keep your life as stable and fulfilled as possible in as many needs as you can. And I would recommend using Maslow's hierarchy of needs to help achieve this. But each person can have their own sort of addiction. It's not like everyone is susceptible to alcohol addiction or substance addiction or sex addiction. Like, some people just aren't able to be addicted to something. Like it's just not something that they're addicted to, that they're drawn to for whatever reason, personality, life history, whatever it is. um so try to think about what's missing in your life and what you are drawn to that isn't yet an addiction. That might be a sign that this could potentially be a future addiction. So if you want to prevent that, then try to really sit down and think, like, what is it that makes me drawn to this, and is it something healthy to be drawn to? And if it's not, then try and think like what part of it makes it so appealing. So for example, if someone is addicted to alcohol, then it's not the alcohol in itself that they're addicted to, it's what it does to that person. So alcohol is, it's trying to be objective. It's something that numbs like emotions or anxieties or makes you more sociable, and that might be something that turns into an addiction and basically an additional lifestyle tool when you don't want the actual alcohol because alcohol certainly has side effects. It's literally called a depressant, so it can make you depressed. It can make you dependent. It can make you emotionally unpredictable and, of course, reliant on the substance to actually function because your brain and your body has just got used to receiving this. And it's basically a physical homeostasis. And basically, your ego now relies on drinking it. So you would have to wean off of it to um, in a safe way, so slowly wean off of it, take less and less and less of it a day. But we want to prevent that. So what we want to do is we want to try and predict what we might be addicted to. But what I said in my first point, trying to get your basic needs and your wants and desires met would be easier to prevent any future addictions. Um, and then if you really are concerned about preventing addictions, then what you can do is just think about what you might be addicted to. What are you drawn to? Like, what is unhealthy, or that you think is unhealthy, or that other people think is unhealthy, because what you think is a healthy thing to be drawn to might be an inaccurate way of looking at it. It's like saying, oh, I don't think I'm addicted to alcohol. I just like to have several drinks a day. Whereas a lot of your social cycles are saying that you are addicted, and they might have a good logical reason for that. So careful self-bias because it's not always very accurate. So listen to yourself as well as other people. Um, yeah, you could also look into the psychology of addiction, why it happens. Um, you can um, you can ask your friends and family if they think that you are leaning into any addictive tendencies. So you might start to be addicted to something, or someone. You could be addicted to pretty much anything. Even like water, apparently you can be addicted to, and just excessively drinking it when you don't need to. Um, and just asking them if you might be addicted or unhealthily attached to something. And then you can think, as I've said earlier in the video, you can think, well, what about this is is making me drawn to it, because I can exchange that for something healthy. So maybe you're addicted to relationships, and while it's something that we all kind of need, it might not be necessarily the healthiest approach. Like, we might not be able to cope with being single for more than like a week. Like, there are people out there who exist like that, and that might be um, a it might be a sign that you are lacking self-love. So when you're seeking relationships, you're not seeking relationships in a healthy way. You're seeking for that love to compensate for your lack of self-love. So then you know what you need to do. You need to stop looking for relationships and look at how to love yourself. Um, I will be talking about self-love and how to do it once I feel like I've studied enough of it to actually teach you. But there are plenty of sources online about that. And this is just an example. I do think, though, that self-love is quite an issue that people just aren't meeting in their lives, and they're looking for external things that they think is maybe easier, or maybe the only option is what they think. to fill that hole of lack of self-love. Um, and also recently I came across a Teal Swan course about self-love, so you could try that. I haven't tried it yet, but I do mean to, even though I think, at least as far as I'm aware, my amount of self-love is pretty healthy. But I think everyone could at least benefit somewhat from learning more about self-love, because again, we might think we have this need or we are not addicted to something when we actually could be. So yeah, we can be arrogant, we can be self-biased, we can be blind to who we are, what we like or dislike, what we see as a problem or not a problem. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of about how to prevent addictions and obsessive unhealthy attachments. As usual, if you have any additional points or criticisms or praises, you can write them in the comments. I would love to read them, see what you think. You can like, subscribe, click the bell, you know all the things. Share with who you think might be slightly attached to something or almost addicted to something or is missing certain aspects in their life that they're trying to compensate for, and that could very well help them a lot in their life, and that would be awesome if it did. So yeah, hope you have an awesome day. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to have an amazing life.